Welcome to Underworld UK, where Britain's darkest stories are brought to light. From the gritty streets of Gangland, London, Liverpool, Manchester and Birmingham, from Curtis Warren to the Cray twins to county lines and modern-day true crime, we cover everything. Bringing you new videos every week. Subscribe so that you'll be notified when the next video is put out.
I am a hitman. It sounds shilling when I say it like that, but it's the truth, and it's why I wanted my book to be called this. It's also a graphic reminder of what I am, which I hope will help bring my career to a close. There's nothing romantic about being a contract killer. Death is a harsh business. There's no way to sugarcoat it, and actually it's vital that the consequences of my actions get as much coverage in this book as the jobs themselves. No doubt some of you are not going to like what you read, but many more others, hopefully, are going to love it. There will also be those who will not know how to react once they've finished this book, but as long as I get you all thinking, then that's enough for me. My advice is to try and forget everything you've always presumed about people like me. Put your feelings about the world, your fears, your prejudices and your preconceptions away for a few hours. You can judge me any way you want. No one is the same as another person, and once you acknowledge that, you can then make up your own minds after reading my entire story. Now to the actual concept of being a hitman. I bet there are some people out there who think we're just urban myths. I was at a dinner party one time near my home in Scotland when the host insisted on going round the entire table, making each of us explain what we did for a job. The guests before me were accountants, lawyers and doctors. Then the host said it was my turn. "I am a hitman," I said. The table went quiet for a few moments while everyone there waited for me to smile. When I didn't, the host said, "So what made you decide to be a hitman?" "Disposable income," I said, in a deadpan voice. The table remained deathly silent until I smiled broadly and they worked out my joke. Then the host moved on to the next guest. Just saying those 4 words, "I am a hitman," was risky. If I'd said them to certain people when I was at the peak of my power, I would have ended up dead, and this book would never have been written. But that's all part of my dangerous, inconsistent personality. Traffic jams and parking tickets make me really stressed. Killing another human being for money doesn't bother me in the slightest. I think that dinner party is what set me on the road to writing this story. Admitting in public to who I was gave me some measure of release from the pressure of maintaining such a secretive life. It also forced me to think about the reality of what being a hitman means in the normal world. I killed people for money over a period of more than 15 years. During that time I encountered gangsters, politicians, billionaires and many others connected to the killing trade. I've been fortunate enough to have always managed to escape justice. Before that dinner party, I'd always respected a person's right not to reveal their past, present or even future intentions. It's vital to move forward with your life and not worry about such things. But saying those words made me start to get some sense of perspective. So when you read this account of my life, remember, this is not an excuse for who I am. It is who I am. Millions have read books and seen movies about so-called hitmen. The one that most comes to mind is Richard Q. Klinsky, known as the Iceman. He was the New York contract killer who decided to tell all after he was sentenced to life in prison. The Iceman opened his life up to examination after he'd been incarcerated, so you could say he wasn't that clever after all. He only spoke out because he had nothing to lose. I still have everything to lose, and I need to prove to myself that I really am walking away from this deadly career. You're never going to know who I've killed, as I always ensured my targets did not appear to have been murdered. They died in accidents, occasionally a suicide, and even more rarely from random acts that appeared to the outside world to just be street crimes. Police called them wrong place, wrong time murders, but in reality, bad luck had nothing to do with how those people died. The advantage of killing people by accident was that the long arm of the law never came looking for me. They didn't even know my victims had died at the hands of another human being. I've always believed the assassination of JFK taught governments across the globe to approach the killing game in a different way. He was taken out by a sniper's bullet, and that sparked countless conspiracy theories. But there would have been little or no speculation if he'd committed suicide or died in a road accident. Today, Russia's hard-nosed President Vladimir Putin is the global master of the dark art of encouraging his enemies to be killed in those ways. I heard that recently Putin set up a secret squad of killers who are trained specifically to do such dirty deeds at his behest. It's even said that they're on standby 24/7 for new missions against Russia's supposed enemies. It's lucky Putin's killer squad didn't exist when I was at my peak. I have no doubt they would have come after me. But please don't presume this book is going to feature the gory details we each kill. I don't think it's right to gloat, and I have the utmost respect for my victims' families and friends. I have no wish to rub in what happened to their loved ones. My job is reprehensible enough without those sorts of details. If you're after a bloodfest, look elsewhere. Now, my story also includes all the same everyday shit that most people go through. My life is a precarious balancing act between at least two completely different worlds. That means there are many moments when I have faced the same problems as everyone else. I'll still burn the toast, break the dishwasher, and forget to pay household bills. But what a life I've led. I've travelled the world, often in private jets, enjoyed the sort of luxury lifestyle that most can only dream about, and it's all down to being a professional killer. Hence, you might imagine me to be a combination of Charles Bronson in The Mechanic and John Cusack in Grosse Point Blank, but that's not really the case at all. I'm so understated to look at that you probably wouldn't notice me in a bar or on a plane. I could be any one of a million other guys. That's part of the key to my success. I can slide into places without most people noticing, thanks to being middle-aged with dark curly hair and a splash of subtle grey at the sides. I could be Spanish, Italian, Jewish, Arab, or just about anything other than Nordic. I consider my real me to be black, although my actual nationality is a complicated issue. But my colour is irrelevant to this story. It's what I do that counts at the end of the day. Killing is my business. I'm not that interested in material possessions. I was more addicted to the excitement and power it provided to me.
That was just the intro to this excellent book. It really is one of the best books that I've ever read. It is full of real stories about methods a real hitman would use to track, watch, and then finally end their target. He goes into great detail about the true insight into the life of a professional hitman, his normal day-to-day life, how he became a hitman in the first place, the skill set you need, how much money he gets paid, and all those details that us normal viewers wouldn't even think of. He talked about times that he has very nearly got caught, and even completed hits abroad for very famous people. If viewers wish to hear more, then I will post the stories, but I urge you to go out and buy the book. I will leave a link in the description. Thank you for all your support with this channel. If you are into true crime stories, please subscribe and give the video a like. That way you'll be notified of when I put out a new video. And if you want to hear more true stories about the hitman, then let me know in the comments section and I will make another video. Thank you and see you next time.